works there. I haven't seen it enough, but the throwing motion and the build, very, very Andrew Luck-ish.
Do you want to just rip into the Mendoza presser right now? Because I was going to go with Pons next, because Pons had a couple different media appearances this week that I'll try and wrap into one. But if you want to keep rolling Mendoza, I'll just roll to Mendoza. I'll just do Pons next.
That's fair. Well, I want to respond to Uno Moss, who just rolled into the comments. Mendoza's legit not going to wow you, but just gets it done. He's going into his junior year. The best is yet to be seen from Fernando Mendoza. If he's getting it done as a freshman and sophomore, I can't wait to see what he's doing as a junior and senior. That's all I got to say to that. What? All right, you want to hop into Pons?
Yeah, I was going to go to Pons. So Pons had a presser last week. He had a Hoosiers Connect interview, player's perspective with Mackenzie Holmes that dropped like midday today or this morning. So we got a bunch of Pons media. I'll go to the presser first. They asked him about his mentality and kind of what he's like looking to do or looking to work on this year because he's coming off such a great year. And he said like he's just really trying to work on the little things, find the things he can get better at, take it one day at a time. Like to listen to a 20-year-old coming off an All-America season speak so candidly and so just like calm about his approach. It's just like, and this comes off with all the guys who spoke at the pressers like this. And I tweeted this out today, but this Indiana football team is so likable. There are so many just like good dudes on this team. And just the more guys speak, it's just like, it makes you want to root for them. But they asked him about his approach to leadership. And he said it's to uphold the standard. He's a lead by example guy. And Mackenzie Holmes also asked him that question, kind of, what is he looking to do? And he said very similar to the same thing, that he's a lead by example guy, but because there's so many young guys and because he's now a junior and being looked at as a leader, that he's trying to take it on himself to be more vocal and to, talk to a lot of the younger guys and give advice. And like, those are some of the things that he's working on and trying to get better at. So it's like, to have that again, self-recognition as a player of like, okay, cool, here's where I need to evolve and here so I can get better. It's just we're already seeing an evolution of D'Angelo Pons, who's already an All-American.
I'm gonna go historian right now. When Dabo Sweeney got his first national title, Ben Bellware, starting middle linebacker, I remember he made this speech where he really, when they remember this is their first one, the first one of the little Dabo Sweeney run. I remember it vividly because I was like pretty astounded by what he did and who he called out. He was like, I want to give a shout out to like Taj Boyd and like all those guys that like came before them and like really set the culture and built the foundation of what was that first title and what turned into a run where they got another one with Trevor. And I don't know, they get like 2 or 3, something like that. I mean, you gotta build a foundation, and that's what D'Angelo Pons and Fisher and Kamara are. That's why they came back. It's just you gotta stack days and stack years and get to the pinnacle. I'm not ruling out a national title this year, but you gotta stack days, and it starts with guys like D'Angelo Pons stepping up into vocal leadership roles and passing it on to the next guy, and then the Zachary Smith. I'm just going to call him out randomly. The Zachary Smiths, the true freshman DBs, are going to do the same thing in 3 years, and it's just going to build off itself. And Sig's a big character guy when he brings people into his program, so I just expect this to continue, and I think that's a big part of his success as a coach, on top of all the great X's and O's and all the other great things he does as a talent evaluator and everything like that.
No, the character thing, you hit it right on the head, because direct quotes from 3 out of 4 of these guys, and Fernando Mendoza didn't just outright say, I love football, but like you hear it in the way he talks about it. Like, these dudes love football. D'Angelo Pons, like, this is all I know. I love football. Like Mikal Kamara, I love playing this game. Pat Coogan called it, like, he said he's grateful and he gets to play, like, he chooses to play football. It's the way these guys talk about the game is like they must like pray to a football in the locker room. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these dudes love the game. It is very, very apparent. Like, Jalen Walker was very much the same way last year, but it's like, it's everybody on the team. These guys love ball.
I bet Fernando Mendoza and Pat Coogan seem like guys that would like eat a football. Like they would just eat it. Like like they just that's how much they love football. Like I feel like they would do anything for the game.
The whole
Anything to get.
team, dude, the entire team.
Yeah.
Like D'Angelo Pons, quote unquote, I love the game. Like these guys love football. They asked Pons about competing against Mendoza,
Jalen
and
Walker. They saw all the edits Jalen Walker was getting last year with his I love football pressers, and they're just trying to do the same thing because I
it's
think
not. But it's like it's
I
you
know,
hear
I
it
know it's
and like
real. It's real.
it's so real. It's not like I know this is going to be a soundbite. Like here it is. Watch this. It's just like in the flow of conversation, it just comes out. It's just that's how much it's just overflowing. But they asked Pons about competing
And we're
against
calling this
Mendoza.
out because you didn't
Me
see
and
that in the
you
Tom
noted
Allen era. I just wanted to call that out. Like the reason why we're talking about this is like you didn't see this at Indiana before. You did not. And so obviously we know things have changed, but it's just like the evidence is still there that this is not a fluke. Like this is going to continue for years to come. All right. Sorry for I've been bad this episode with the interruptions. I think we might
no
be
our,
on some sort of lag potentially. I think that might be what it is because we usually don't do this, but sorry.
no my connection the connection here is a
Apologies.
little wonky. I'm gonna have to figure things out. I'm in like a new setup. There's a lot of it
Get a
was a
new
long week,
router.
Brad. It
New
was a long
router.
week.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it has been. You do get a pass. You do get a pass.
But Pons talked about competing against Mendoza. Me and you noted in the video they released like 2-3 weeks ago that Cooper and Mendoza connected on a deep ball over Pons, which was like the first time I think we'd seen him get beat in anything. And I know Sig made multiple comments last year about him not getting beat in camp. And he said that Mendoza is really mobile and he's got like elite deep ball accuracy. So he almost part of me thinks that like maybe Pons was like, I don't know if he can throw the ball this far, and he just threw it right over his head.
I'm telling you, man, this
But
Mendoza cat. I mean, we talked about Signetti and like Phillip Rivers, Russell Wilson, probably recruited some of the earlier Alabama quarterbacks that, the McElroys. I'm not saying like McElroy's that level of prospect. The kid won a title though. So I'll throw him. I'll throw his name out there. I mean, he's a quarterback guy. He played quarterback at West Virginia. He nailed Rourke. Mendoza was the most touted guy in the portal for a reason, and he still picked him. Even though he's doesn't really care about the stars and stuff like that. Still got the 5-star transfer quarterback, number 1 in the class. There's something about him. There's just something there. Cannot wait to see him in the spring game. Cannot wait. That might be the only thing I really want to see is this Mendoza cat. He might be the best quarterback in the conference.
they asked Pons about Coach Rod Ojong. Yeah, I say he's got a lot of football knowledge. He really pushes them. This is the part I really liked, actually. He said he wasn't a yes man. He said he gets him better every day. And he also kind of echoed that to Mackenzie Holmes on the Hoosier Connect pod. And he just talked about his situational IQ and having him prepared for situations and just sharpening his technique. And like Pons said, like, I really felt like my technique was in a good spot when I transferred in from JMU, and then I got with Coach Ojong, and we just like drilled it down even more. So a huge ringing endorsement for Coach Ojong from D'Angelo Pons, and just again echoes like how I feel about those guys, and like it's cool to hear the players kind of echo what it looks like from the outside.
Yeah, I think we've said it before that in terms of just straight position coaches, like our DB guys seem like the top guys that we have. I don't want to obviously John Miller was on 30 under 30 list last offseason, and
I think that's it's a compliment, and it's also like the coaching staff is incredible. Like you
I'm
could
not
pick
trying to
any of
I
the
think this is
coaches.
one of the best coaching staffs in the country. I just want to highlight the DBs. I think recruiting wise, development wise, just what they've done with the room and I'm excited to see I hope they don't make me eat crow because it's definitely one of the most important position groups in the sport right now in terms of, who's guarding Jeremiah Smith. These guys have to guard Jeremiah Smith this year. And yeah, okay, but they still got to cover the rest of Ohio State's guys. And So like we have Ohio State in our conference. That's all I gotta say. Like that's been wide receiver U. It's not going to change. I mean, that's one of the most when you're going to play in the Big Ten, you got to have good DBs. Period. Because of literally with all due like just because of that school. Like it really comes down to that.
Hey, and Oregon.
If you have bad, yeah, exactly. If you have bad DB play, you just can't compete in the Big Ten. It's just not going to happen.
100%. And he said, speaking of DBs coming in, they asked him about Gandy and Knight, and he said those guys came in ready to work. He also noted those guys are going to be able to help the team a lot this year. And then he said that the freshmen came in willing to learn. They asked him what it would take to be like, what mentality the freshmen should have. And he said just to come in and be a sponge. But he said all those guys have come in and they just like attacked it with the right mentality. So like again, another thing where like from afar, we're really high on the young guys in that room, the Jalen Hollywood Bells and the Byron Baldwin Juniors and Zachary Smith and Reese isn't on campus yet, but like he's another guy in that DB room that's coming in. Like we're really high on the young guys on this team, and to hear the veterans talk about those guys approaching it in the right way is like very, very exciting.
Yeah, because we know how talented they are. So if they're going through the system and they're going to develop like we anticipate them to, I mean, these things take years. Like you got to be hitting on your classes. I mean, it's vital for continued success. So the fact that everything seems to be on the right page, I keep expressing during spring. All I care about is the culture stuff. X's and O's will figure itself out in camp. Who's going to start? It's going to figure out itself out in the fall. Spring is really just about culture. This is how we get better during a time where no one's really thinking about football. And that's where you get your edge. That's when you win the national title game, is setting the tone in spring. That's only going to put you further ahead come fall, where most of the progress is going to be made. So if you can get a head start on that and start clicking in spring, I mean, sky's the limit.
And then the last thing they asked him at the presser, and then I'll kind of speed run my favorites from the Hoosier Connect pod, but I'm not going to like spoil the whole thing. Like go listen to that podcast. It was awesome. But they asked him what he was kind of working on improving or kind of something he's been focusing on going into next season. And he said specifically that he wants to disguise more coverages. So instead of just like being in cover 3 and showing cover 3, like get a little bit more tricky with the way they're presenting it to opposing offenses. And then he said from a personal standpoint, he just wants more pick production. He wants more.
Love it.
And then real quick, speed running kind of the highlights from his Hoosier Connect interview, which again, go check that out. Mackenzie Holmes asked him why he decided to come to Indiana, and he spoke about this a lot during the interview, but he wasn't very highly recruited. I don't think any Power 5 schools offered him, and he played at a really prestigious high school. He played in a really prestigious conference, like, and he was a really good player in high school. And Sig was one of the only coaches to believe in him, and so he said it was really a no brainer. He also said that he was never not coming back. Like he has 2 years of eligibility. He wasn't hitting the portal. He wasn't leaving. The like I'm coming back video was strictly because there was a lot of like unnecessary or unwarranted speculation that he just wanted to end, and also obviously really cool opportunity to release some content. But I thought that was a really interesting nugget too.
Yeah, I mean, Sig's preached it multiple times. He told you what he said. It was it used to be development, like recruiting and development. Now it's recruiting, development, and retention. And building a strong football culture is going to keep guys there. They're going to trust the process, and it's only a matter of time before this program starts pumping guys in the league. And once that starts happening, then that's when we're going to start getting the 4 or 5 star guys. And I mean, it starts with this upcoming year, really, is kind of where that can really start a launch pad. So I think that's a cool call out that he was never leaving, and it just reaffirms everything we already thought about the program.
Yep. And then I wanted to do this kind of a little silly, like my favorite thing that he said, or one of them was that he was asked if he had any superstitions, and he was like, no, but I wear 2 arm sleeves every game. So the answer is yes.
I mean, that's just his look. That's not like a superstition
No,
thing.
I know, I know.
It's
But he said he played well. He's never had a bad game in the double sleeves.
okay. That's a little that statement's a little superstitious. But I'm not a superstitious person either. But I still have my, what do you call them? Your rituals, right?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
It's more so just for yourself. It's not so much like you need to do it to get your mind to a place to where it's not like if I don't do this, I'm screwed. It's like I do this because this is just what I do before I do this. You know what I mean? Like it could be anything. It could be like this is my ritual before I go make a cold call, or like before like it can apply to all aspects of life, not just sports. Like, but everyone has their rituals. I know I do.
And then
Do you have any
to kind of
rituals?
echo
Keezer,
where
do you have
his
any
love of
rituals?
football comes from. I mean, I grew up. I played baseball like for 18 years. Like
Yeah.
I don't cross bats. Like I actually one time as a like in a youth tournament, like wore the same outfit for the entire. We were playing so well, I just didn't change.
Mm-hmm. I do. So when I play basketball, you know how players wipe the bottom of their sneakers? I only wipe with my right hand, which is my shooting hand. It's not a superstitious thing.
Yeah.
It's literally grip. It's literally like I need to dry my hands off. That's just the way I do it. And it brings moisture to the shoes as well. Not that my hands are
So
like that
you only
sweaty, but
wipe
like
the bottom of your shoes with your shooting hand.
with my shooting hand. Yeah.
No, but
It's not like a
they asked
superstitious thing. It's just what I do. I don't know. We're just talking rituals. Sorry if I sidetracked everything and I ruined the show.
No. I was gonna say just to close up the D'Angelo Ponce Hoosiers Connect interview. Mackenzie Holmes asked him like kind of where does his love of football come from, and he was basically like I'm from Miami. Like this football is like that's what we do. It's all we know. He's like I've been playing since I was 4 years old. I've been playing football for 16 years. Like it's just in his blood. He's a ball player. And so that's that's basically if you didn't know anything about D'Angelo Ponce and just needed to figure out who he was, just like, yeah, kid's a ball player.
Yeah, that's it. The kid knows ball. Kid's a hooper. Kid's a baller.
He's just an all-American. He's just an all-American, best corner in the Big Ten, best corner in the country. Like, no big deal.
Yeah. Should be on the cover of NCAA 25, but probably won't be. But yeah. Well,
but yeah, definitely go check out the Hoosiers Connect interview that just dropped with D'Angelo Ponce. Definitely worth your time.